preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitcoin, pump. Altcoins, pump. I've been preparing for this. Can't nobody tell me nothing. SEC and its policies rely on whatever Gary thinks. Bitcoin's a flight to quality. I heard that from Larry Fink. Every hour losing purchasing power on foolish outcomes. It's not our fault. Blame the coal. It's the political cowards when it comes to gas. Our purchasing power just got cut in half. I sit back and laugh, open my bag, fill it with stacks and sats. Bitcoin, pumping. Altcoins, pumping. I've been preparing for this. Can't tell me nothing.
Bitcoin up over $120,000 overnight, wrapping out the highest weekly close we have ever seen in Bitcoin. Talk about the setup for this is only just the beginning. Looking at the market as we dive right on into it, we see the price breaking out of these key levels, this sort of falling channel that we knew that we were just consolidating here above $100,000, minus this one little dip right here that was just V-shaped right back up, almost like a Wyckoff spring, which we talked about here on this channel. And we see the breakout up here and just being held at resistance of this previous range. We got the small move outside, the retest confirmation, a little bit of a flag, a triangle within the zone. And then, I mean, just an absolute move out of this up to the high there was about a 13% move from this breakout to where it's at right now. And currently, what are we seeing? Currently, we're seeing the breakout of a beautiful bull pennant, which I highlighted for all of you that are in the Discord. And I also highlighted for all of you that are on my Twitter as well. I showed this potential breakout, potential also Bart Simpson to the downside. You got to be prepared for either. Yet the bullish pressure is just too strong and the market just, the bears could not relent, and the bulls just ate it up and boom, pushed it all the way back up here. And what we saw in this small, beautiful pullback, can you believe I'm saying this? A pullback from above $123,000 to down here just below $120,000, right here at 119. And we're sitting right at that cusp. And I'm not expecting this just to continue just to Omega candle, moonshot every single candle. We want to see these small bits of move up, consolidation, accumulation, then breakout. Okay, little correction down. Where to? Previous range high. Are we going to take the bounce here and move up? We're going to be looking at that, but we're also seeing other things within the market like the others chart. Others being everything outside of the top 10. If we look at this, let's look at this on the 4-hour. Got a beautiful move from this low right here, the others chart, which is everything outside of the top 10. When you look at the coin market cap rankings, 25% move for this, for the others chart, all these altcoins. And we got this beautiful, we talked about this beautiful falling channel. And we were waiting for, wow, we got the bear trap. This is where everybody freaks out. But you and I, everybody watching Discover Crypto, everybody watching BitLab Academy, everybody in the Discover Investments group, we know we buy peak fear. And this proved to be a beautiful opportunity here. Bear trap, move back up. Look at this, consolidate sideways all the way into the range, all the way till we have this descending level of resistance that just absolute, just boom, moonshot out of. And this is great because this is showing signs and signals of the altcoin market waking up. How's everybody doing today? We got about 700 people in the room. I hope you're all doing well. I had a great weekend. You can tell I'm a little sunburned here. I went out to, look at that. I didn't even realize that. Look at that, man. I am pink, baby. I'm red. Why? Because the markets are green. I've been stocking and I'm excited about this because the markets are waking up in a way that we've been talking about on this channel for quite some time. In fact, at the end of June, I was looking to July 10th and 11th as a possible area that we're going to start seeing price action move to the upside. And the crazy thing is, as I outlined the other day, when you look at this chart, when you look at Bitcoin, let's go to the daily and you realize what day was this? Oh my God, this was July 9th right here. The setup into this July 10th, July 11th. this is when we're getting that move up. And I was kind of basing that on 4th of July having happened, July 9th being the deadline for the tariff trade deals and some of that, which obviously got extended. But that meant there was a lot of pent up certainty and uncertainty in the risk markets that finally just got uncoiled. Boom, right in here where the market is now, can't hold back all this aggressive buying that's in the market. But how's everybody doing? We got Bill Brower in the house. Green Day Profits, objectively, real reality, objectively. Kelly, good afternoon. You know what? Good afternoon to you. Blessings, Crow Nation, says John 3:16. Jesus, Kelly, heard of sunblock? You know what? You got to get that base coat. I'm going to Maui in a couple weeks to visit some family, and I figured I had to get some base coat. It doesn't hurt though. It doesn't hurt. Maybe I'm just numb to the red. I don't know. Like, sub, buy, pump. That's right. Nicholas Pari, how you doing? Roberto Herrera. We got the fam jam in the room right now. About 1,000 people here between YouTube, between Rumble. Shout out to Rumble partners on this channel as well. They're promoting a lot of our content over there. And also to everybody tuned in here on X. I hope you guys are as excited and feeling as good as I am, because this is just feeling better and better looking at everything here in the market, because we also see, if we refresh this, I think we just hit a new all-time high, everybody. That's right. Bitcoin has been pushing to new all-time highs, but most importantly, I do believe, look at this, the highs over here was about 3.7, 3.72, 3.71. We are sitting here currently at $3.76 trillion. There's been about $1 trillion added to the market. I mean, if you even look right here, what date period was this? This was about, I'm guessing, April 8th. The crypto market, the total crypto market, only about 2 months ago was, look at this, 2.5, $2.4 trillion. Now we're up here at 3.76. That's over $1 trillion in value has come into this market only since everything was going to be dumb because Trump was stupid because the tariff trade wars. Well, it turns out it wasn't so stupid. We had the sell-off from fear, and then we've had just a rally into the face of where we're at in this market. And what we want to see here is that we got a number of altcoins waking up aggressively. If we go here on the 24-hour move here, we got SUI up 12%. Algorand, despite not getting support from USDT Tether anymore, also up about 12, a little under 12%. Bonk up 9%, Fartcoin up 8%, Uniswap 6%, 6%, 5%, 5%. We're seeing a lot of green in the market, and we're seeing also a lot of the fear and greed has gotten back in this very anticipatory, positive space here, sitting here at 70. We're not in the extreme greed yet, which you're gonna want to watch for some hedging or some patience in the market for some swings to the downside to shake people out if this does start getting up into this extreme fear zone. But we also got the Altseason index is ticking up. Not so long ago, this was down in the 20s. I mean, look at this. Altseason index chart. We can see this. This was only a few days ago, 22. This was on July 7th. It got as low over here down to 15. We're doubled that now. And this is basically a metric that is weighing the top 100 coins performance over 90 days. How much growth or loss have they seen? Profit or loss have they been seeing in their growth in the charts? We see M is up 5.6, Pengu's up 491%, WIF 158, Aave up 132%. Aave still, golly, what a great pick this cycle, especially with the DeFi aspects and components that they have there and how strong their ecosystem is. But you see all these alts in the last 90 days outperformed Bitcoin. Everything under this has not outperformed Bitcoin. So whether you're holding XRP, IOTA, Jupiter, Sky, which is formerly Compound, it's just all of these, as much as it feels like we're gaining, none of these below Bitcoin have outperformed Bitcoin in the last 90 days. So just take note of that. I got the hiccups for some reason. Now, this could mean we're going to start to see a pretty aggressive move in a lot of these coins here in the near future. And that's kind of what I like to look at. Like, a lot of these are very strong players, but they've made a pretty darn big move. So I'd be watching between these. And is there further fundamental data that's going to continue to help press, keep those bulls in pressure and buying to the upside? Or are some of these kind of lagging behind? Are we going to see GRT or Link or Crow or XTZ, Radium, Stacks? Are we going to see these start to make some bigger moves? Well, we're going to dive into that here in just a moment, because remember, as much as Bitcoin's over $120,000. There's so many people that they thought it was going to die at 1,000. They thought it was dead when it was at 2,000. They thought once it hit 20, that's as high as it was going to go. 20,000, especially when it died at 3,000. Oh my God. And then what happened? It went from 3,000 to 70,000. Then it died when it pulled back to 15,500. But then it went from 15,500 to 123,000. And it's still just getting underway, especially considering all of the corporate treasuries out there stacking Bitcoin treasuries, nation states out there stacking Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin, the strategic Bitcoin reserve that's coming to the US here in the very near future. It is crypto week right now in the US government with what they're doing with a lot of this Clarity Act and the Genius Act. This is front and center. And the reason why this chart is up here, what I'm showing you is this is Bitcoin here. Everybody thinks, oh, Bitcoin's made it. Well, it's only just gotten started. Do you see this share of global wealth distributed across all these assets? Bitcoin, a little over $2 trillion market cap. Then we got gold at 16 trillion. Art has more value than gold does. Then we got cars and collectibles, 3 times what we see in Bitcoin. Equities, 115 trillion. Guys, Bitcoin is going to take a part of the market share of every single one of these things on this graph. So when you consider that and you say, well, Bitcoin's high at 125,000, is it? Is it really, when this is just getting underway to be the apex predator that it just absorbs outflows of these into Bitcoin in addition to new money coming into that? So guys, gals, we have so much to go. And then we want to talk about altcoins. I know we've been talking a lot about Bitcoin lately, but we got to focus a bit here on altcoins because Bitcoin's dominance just broke down. Not only from this uptrend support that we see here, is broke down at the same time. We see the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. We see the MACD. Let me move this over just a little bit right there. Let me pull this across, pull that over. Why is that not all the way over there? That's what I want to see. There we go. Right in there. Somehow when I reset my computer, it messed it up. But what we're seeing here is the MACD. This basically is showing you the swings and directions of momentum that the market moves. And this just crossed on the weekly on the bearish side. Last time this happened, ETH went vertical, XRP hit all-time high, and all the other altcoins printed 5 to 10x like it was normal. It's not a dream anymore. The signal is flashing loud and clear. This is from Altcoin Gordon. Now, whether or not this is going to be the case, we've got to track, because some people see this and then they just go all in on one particular altcoin or 2 or 3, just expecting that a chart like this means you're going to absolutely see 10 to 20, 30x's here in the next couple weeks. In fact, you may see 5, 10, 20, 30x's, but it might not be for the next few months, maybe even into next year. We got to see how this plays out because there's so much pressure and concerted capital focusing on the Bitcoin ecosystem, whether it's Bitcoin treasury, corporate treasuries, all these different stacking pressures are really driving a lot of impact in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So while this feels good, let's look at this like a potential setup for amazing moon time in the altcoins. Now, of course, I've got alts. I've shared those alts with you all, especially those of you that are in the Discord. That link is directly below in the description below. But the point is, I'm not going to count this as a breakdown until we get any sort of move up that actually fails and comes, basically you get the confirmed move to the downside. This is a great start. This is one of those ingredients we want to see, but you don't want to count everything on it. But this is feeling good to see dominance move down while Bitcoin is moving up so high, because we also see Ethereum reaches an all-time high in leveraged short positions. This is great because it's typically when people have the peak amount of conviction in the opposite direction that the market tends to go. So this is, a lot of people think, oh no, ETH is done. Record shorts. I think we're about to get absolute boom season in Ethereum and thus the rest of the altcoin market. Man, guys, I could not be more excited that we're all here together. We've been here together almost every day for the last several years, breaking down the charts for you, breaking down the data, looking at on-chain, looking at data like this from Artemis, showing, how can ETH go up? Let's take out who cares what the name is? Put whatever just put altcoin. Who cares if it's ETH, if it's Tron, if it's BNB? When you're looking at an asset and you're wondering, will this perform well? You don't just say, okay, the price is starting to move up, it's going to go up. No, that doesn't work. What you want to do is look at fundamental data. You want to look at different transaction volume. You want to look at flows between chains, fees, when fees change, active addresses, a lot of the things I cover for you all here on BitLab Academy. In this case, we're seeing ETH stablecoin supply just increased $583 million in 24 hours. There is activity going on ETH right now. While there's still people counting it out, and we did see ETH finally break back above $3,000, which is fantastic to see that, but we still need to see some follow through. But this is great. Look at this. I mean, just absolutely eat Solana alive in this metric here. BNB chain, Sui, Mantle, Avalanche, Base. Now I like almost all of these coins. But when you're trying to identify what is within a narrative that you appreciate, that you care about, whether it's because of the numbers, whether it's because of the project and the mission, whether it's because of the team, in fact, there's probably going to be a combination between those things. But whatever makes you want to move into an asset, ask yourself, how does it sit respective of other assets that it is potentially competing with? How do the flows look? How do the recent transaction volumes and fees look? Or is there an increase in fundamentals while the price has not yet reflected it? That's the point here. So while some people are still counting ETH out, ETH is saying, guys, there's some major stacking going on in the background. There's a lot of people in the background that are not paying attention. And this is when you tend to get the best positions and catch the best moves. And then we come over here and we look at what's going on in the liquidation heat map. Let's go ahead and refresh this and just realize here that, I mean, let's actually, where does it go? Let's go to the 1 month. This came up and took that $111,000 level. Remember, for months, I was talking about the $110,000 level, the mega pump gateway. This right here. I did not add this today. This has been on the chart. I've been talking about this since this pushed up into this area. We're watching this zone between $109,000 and $112,000. And the problem with this is it did hit. And some people even said, well, you see, it didn't matter. Well, what did it do? Kind of tapped on the ceiling, and we got a reversal. Boom, but came back up into it. Got a reversal again. Now we have a whole separate pattern that is within the still same framework that we were talking about, this very critical zone of not only breaking above $100,000 with authority, breaking above it and doing it a few times. And in this case, this is $100,000 right about right here, option H. The price action came up to these previous range highs, this mega pump gateway zone that we could also see the liquidation heat maps. We could also just see the price action. And I knew that there was going to be some trouble getting through this. Once this area was cleared, it was going to be very large movement quickly. And we tried to clear it, couldn't. Now, right on the edge of this gateway, $109,000, $110,000 right in this zone. Then what happened when it broke out? Boom, sliced through it because we've already tapped this area of the liquidity. We got bullish structure on our side and only an increase in bullish fundamental news. So what happened? The bears couldn't hold it back anymore. And what we do? We got the teleport very quickly up to that $120,000 mark. In fact, it went beyond it all the way up here into about 123.4, so something like that. So this is fantastic, everybody. I do want to say before we continue on, shout out to our channel partners, Bitcoin IRA. Make sure right now is the best time of any. If you want to not only make money in this market, but protect it so you don't make a bunch of money in altcoins that then you sell for Bitcoin, which is a great move. But then you're also reducing your actual income by 20 to 35% based on whatever tax bracket you're in, income taxes, especially short-term trading. But remember, with Bitcoin IRA, we did the whole metric with you guys. You could do your minimum contribution of $7,500 or maximum contribution of $7,500. And trade altcoins. You got 80 different cryptocurrencies on here, and you could trade those altcoins this cycle into Bitcoin and not have to pay basically your tax shelter because this is in an IRA. And that could end up saving anywhere to $2 to $3 million over the course of 30 years based on the errors or the right moves that you do today to protect yourself, shelter yourself from unnecessary taxes while doing it in a legal way. Call 1-877-936-7175. Again, that's 1-877-936-7175. Talk to Bitcoin IRA. Let them know Kelly Kellam sent you from BitLab Academy. It's a smart thing to do. And you get to actively day trade and not have to pay short-term gain income taxes on all that kind of stuff because it's in your IRA. And there's a number of different assets on there, not only crypto and Bitcoin. There's other indexes and quite a few things there. I also want to shout out right now, getarculus.com, the best crypto cold storage solution you can get. Protect your crypto, protect your future. Getarculus.com. Use code BitLab, BITLAB 20, BitLab20 for 20% off. Now let's dive in a little bit deeper because we've got some things going on here. Where's my chart here? We got to look because Ethereum made a swing high. And what price point did this pass that I've been telling you to watch out for? It's this level right here, the 2850. 2850 was going to be critical for two reasons. One, we've already butt our head up against it here, and this is where we broke down from. So this was a high we needed to get beyond. We did. We not only broke through this multi-year previous support, now it's been just a trifling resistance. We sliced through this. We sliced through this horizontal range, this green highlighted zone here. We sliced not only through that, but we also broke beyond this high and this high. We're also above all three moving averages here. This is on the daily. This is looking excellent. This is looking so darn excellent. And in fact, we also got, look at this, the money flow came back up. The RSI is on the daily. Look at this, riding right on the 50 line, now moving up into strength. I do expect at some point to have some sort, I won't call it a reversal, but some sort of shakeout test to the downside. Whether this continues right now while things are frothy into this and then we kind of consolidate into here, or if we get a little bit of a sell-off here and then, consolidate and make the move. But just be patient and watch for that if it happens. But this is going to be bad news bears for the, literally bad news bears, if especially for all the alts. If the Ethereum price pushes up into this zone, this 3,500 to 3,900, this zone here, and there's still strength coming in and this never-ending flood of bullish continuation in the fundamental developments with what we're seeing with with regulations and with the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, stablecoins integration, everything. If we see strength coming into this and we're able to break out of here, this $4,000 zone, find any support and continue, this zone here is when you're going to start to see the altcoin market just absolutely rip. So this would be bad news for the bears, and everybody thinking, well, no, this is just a fake out rally and it's going to dump. I mean, is it possible? Sure. I just think it's very aggressively unlikely right now based on the landscape of what's happening. Now let me scroll over. Let me look at your the live chat here. Alexandra G, what's up? Green Day Profits, Brillo, how you doing? Bull flag, that's right. Chris Pfaff, we got guys. Ban. I didn't even know. I almost banned you, Granny's Garden. I clicked the wrong button, but you're good. You're safe. Don't worry. Dot Wook, Quarter Crawler, Haven Peck. Sorry, guys. I'm so excited about what we're seeing here. Because then we see other things like Solana coming right into that zone that we've been talking about. This is a multi-year trend line. What are you talking about? Look, this goes back to 2021. And it's not just a random line. Look, it's substantiated right there. Rejection. And we keep moving. Look, found support. Lost it. Rejection. Now where are we at? We're coming right back into it. This is that same line coming all the way across. Once we clear this for Solana, we clear the 177 range, I think this is going to start making some pretty big, pretty quick moves up into the mid 220s, and then 250, and then well beyond. Darren Walton, how you doing? Shout out to you. I appreciate you. What about DAG? You know what, Rokai? Let's look at DAG. We haven't looked at DAG in a minute. They're still doing incredible things. A lot of integrations. They're there on Capitol Hill, talking to the legislators, talking about different things that they can do. And this has just given us a lot of opportunity at these zones, basically sub 3.3, 3.5, all the way, anything down in these zones, I think is a steal of a buy. But we're looking at the daily. We got negative money flow, meaning money is coming out. If you have a leak in your gas tank, do you think you're going to make it all the way up the mountain while you're still trying to increase speed? No, you're going to run out of gas. This is gas coming out of the tank. That's what this is. Money flow out. When it is on the lower side of this zero line, this is money coming out. This is money coming in. See, positive and negative. So what we're seeing here is, I mean, it just hasn't given that, but this does feel good when you look at the fact that we do have this sort of kind of a triple bottom setup that also looks a bit like a, man, I didn't even notice that. This looks a bit like a giant, potentially inverted shoulder, inverted head, inverted shoulder. If that's the case, guys and gals, if that's the case, then this target's going to be all the way up here at 47 cents. From where we're at right now, come on. Come on. You might have to endure some chop along the way. That is a 14x from where we're at right now, if that were to play out. But let's zoom in on this a little bit and see what we got. That's on the 3-day. What are we looking like on the 4-hour? 4-hour. Okay, we got the nice shelf here. This support breaks down. The M formation rejects here twice, loses it. Cool. Comes up, back up, retest, and continuation down. Now we've kind of got the opposite. Now we got what looks like sort of a rounding bottom. Like this move is starting to get exhausting for the bears. If the bears are getting exhausted, that means the bulls are basically, their engines are getting charged, their batteries, they're recouping. And what we're seeing here, look at this. Very large move, smaller move, smaller move. This is looking like this is wanting to do that next sort of swing with money flow to the upside. At the same time, we see the momentum of the bears swinging back into being potentially momentum for the bulls. So these are forecasting patterns where you see it. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you're starting to see the setup of the bears getting weaker. That's essentially what you're doing when you're doing technical analysis, is trying to catch the swings of momentum from bullish to bearish in those reversal points at the most risk adjusted spot, so that you can catch the move without taking on too much risk of it not yet being the move. Like for instance, right here, oh my God, you catch the move here. What happened? Completely washed out. Oh my God, there, completely washed out. And meanwhile, this is rejecting out a moving average. So why would you buy those two spots anyway, especially if you have short-term issues in the market where you get emotional? What this is looking like right here, this does look like it's rounding, like it's trying to come back up. The the RSI on the 4-hour is trying to maintain above this 50 line. It's right at the cusp here. This is starting to break out this moving average, the 200 on the 4-hour chart. If this is able to make a move up, I'd still be a little cautious here if you're going to short-term trade it. If it's going to make a move up, I wait for a move up. I make for a reversal back down, and you want to see yet again another higher low. Now, how can you project where that's going to be? Well, we got a bit of a trend line here. Option T, if you're on PC, it's Alt T there. So now what we want to see, if this trend line holds, we want to see if this does move up. If this comes back and basically bounces on these highs, which is also right about the point where this rising level of support is, that would be a great area for it to bounce. Right at about, if this pushes up and comes back into it, is my point. Because then you start getting a confirmation, more of a setup into a confirmation of the move rather than just trading irrationally. I got Ondo making waves to the upside after we talked about this descending channel, big washout to the downside, back up. And this, this broke right through the zone. See, rejection, 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 rejection. Okay, push up. And look at this. These highs are higher than this high. So this means that the bulls are starting to have more authority, because if the bears have more authority here, even if this was a bit of like a bull trap come back down, you'd expect this to sort of the people start scaling out into this previous range high. It didn't. You got two highs higher than this. Now, I will say on the 4-hour, there's a little bit of a caveat here because we do have bearish divergence. See this RSI lower? See the price action right here higher? So it wouldn't surprise me, because of this bearish divergence and the money flow right here is flipped negative. If this does get a bit more of a move to the downside, I'd be looking for this to be a bear trap coming down in here and then making its move to the upside. But when you get this bullish momentum moving in the market like it is, although we have a bearish divergence right here, I wouldn't just sell out because this is crashing back down. No, this is the moment that most people get tricked out in this market. Yes, we got a bearish divergence, but what happened right here? On this bearish divergence, which is right here, the price action has moved down. The question is, are the bulls going to be able defend this zone. So let's get on a smaller time frame. Smaller time frame. So, okay, we did see the price come down, but look, money flow is trying to fight its way in. The strength is getting a bit weaker. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if this came down a little bit lower. 86, 87 sort of zone, right where this moving average is coming up into. But if this is able to hold here, and then, basically we want to look for a break of 95 cents, that would be, signal of likely continuation. But you want to watch if the money flow is agreeing or not. We've also got, there was something else I want to show. BNB. BNB looks the same as we just saw on Ondo. See that divergence? Bearish divergence in the short term. The question is, are the bulls defending this and that bearish divergence is played out? Well, currently we got money flow coming in, but it's also getting smaller and smaller, minus that one deviation. See, smaller, 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 smaller. We'd like to see the sustain and the money flow actually break out of this. We'd like to see the RSI push back up into the zone as well. So there's a little bit of choppiness going on right now. Okay, what we talked about last week, let's turn off all these moving averages. It's making it hard to see. So we talked about this, if it broke out, watching to go into this zone. Well, what happened? Price action went right into the zone, chopped, and then broke out of this downtrend resistance. This downtrend resistance right here. Broke out after it went to the zone, the exact zone that we talked about right here. Now it pushed up to that next line, much like we talked about. We highlighted this last week. So price action came right up into this zone. Now, why is that important? Because look, rejection, rejection, bounce, 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 rejection, bounce, bounce, bounce. You see what I mean? There's a lot of price getting both defended and supported in this region. So this tells me it's going to be kind of important. Well, we had a pretty big pop of money flow here. It's coming back down though. The RSI is maintaining strength though. So it wouldn't surprise me here if BitTensor TAO, excuse me, had a bit of a swing down to this zone right in here. But basically 397, 397 down into the lower 390s. This zone, it would also be effectively retesting the breakout of this resistance. So you want to see, hold on. You want to see on a breakout, you want to see, yes, click 47 times. There we go. You want to see the breakout. You want to see the retest of the scene of the crime, the area that you broke out from. The bulls defending that and then coming up and making that move, getting in about right there for a risk-adjusted entry. That way you're not, oh, this is going to bounce here, and then it just washes you out and then goes the way you want. Wait for the breakdown confirmation, the bulls coming in on the smaller time frame. You start seeing the rounding bottom or the money flow spiking before this comes in, and then you start getting confidence this is going to move up. And if you're seeing the increasing strength of money flow as this is coming up, then you get in your entry right there and you have a confirmed move. So that's kind of what we're looking for right now on BitTensor TAO with, look, the rejection breakdown. Okay, now, right here, broke out. It's coming back to test the scene of the crime. So anywhere in this zone, you want to start looking for a potential reversal for continuation up. But currently, money flow is coming out. That's on the 4 hour though. 1 hour, chop, 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 chop. We need to see some sustain here. The RSI is right at the 50 line. If this loses this, then this is further confirmation it's coming back down in the zone. Chainlink, golly, looks just like we just saw on BitTensor TAO. This also went to exactly the zone that we highlighted for this to go to. We talked about that. Look at this beautiful W pattern. I'm going to delete this. There's just too many lines on the chalkboard. What do we got? Well, we got the price action came right in the zone we talked about. A little bit over, but the exact zone. If this is able to actually break out from here, and we do have positive money flows on the 8 hour. Let's go to the 4 hour. Okay, positive money flow, but it's really sucking back here. We have a bit of a support in through here. Supportive RSI. If this is lost, then I'm expecting this to come back down and check into this zone. But guys, I'm so excited about what Chainlink's going to do this cycle. I'm so excited about it. Morpho. Dutchy, what's up? Quarter crawler. Did you guys make, oh guys, I have to tell you something. I made a stupid error. I made a stupid error. Stupid error. I'm talking stupid this morning. So when I trade, I tend to keep larger positions with small leverage positions, okay? Like 2x to 4x, something like that. On the weekend, sometimes I'll trade while I'm watching TV, but I'll do like 40x, 60x, but I do it with like $30, $100, stuff like that, so I'm watching, and like sometimes you get some pretty big flyers and it's great. And you're also just keeping your skills sharp. Well, this last Friday, I've been traded all these trades over the weekend on Ethereum through the mobile app on CoinW. So the mobile trading, right? So I'm just doing whatever. But I forgot, I probably did, I don't even know. Let's pull it up. They were small. I took like $40 all the way up to like $600. But I was doing it on my phone. So this morning I was going to hop into a trade. And so I was setting up for the show. And this is, I think I had 609, 614, something like that, dollars in there. And I just market bought in because I still thought I had it. I had it on a respectable leverage, not degen to the Maximus level. And I market bought. Just is because it's all house money at this point. It's not like it's money out of my bank account. It's house money from winnings from whatever. As soon as I entered the trade, I got liquidated. I'm talking, and I looked, and my leverage was set at 200x, which I don't ever trade on 200x. So I think I was on there showing somebody something on there. And just because I trade on my phone normally on CoinW, it's just set. I was stupid. And so I'm talking like, it was 17 seconds. Enter, you were fully liquidated. And luckily, this is why it's great to have multiple accounts. Especially with how you trade. Like, my portfolio is my portfolio. I have different trading accounts on LBank, on CoinW, on Blowfin, and you can keep some in your funding and some in your actual trading account, futures, spot, whatever. But make sure you segment it. And I always recommend trading on isolated, not cross, because isolated means it's just a trade amount you're doing. If you have it on cross, it'll draw from your funding account and continue to fund it so you don't get liquidated, which could also end up draining you. So I entered the $600 position. I didn't realize it was on 200x because I'm never on 200x, and I'm talking 17 seconds. So just transparency, stupid errors. We all make them sometimes. And that's a great reminder not to have every single thing in one account that you're trading on. One, because of hacks. Two, because of your own stupid errors that you can make sometimes. But we all do that. Subscribe, smash that like button. It's free to touch. No KYC required. No additional tariffs yet. No, but that's it. We just got to be smart. I also got an email last week. I think I shared it on my wall. This was just important for me because I almost fell for this scam. I'm straight up almost fell for the scam because, of course, I work in social media. I, do a lot of stuff on X. And the other day I got this email. Where's it at? I just want to highlight this for you guys. And again, make sure you head over to getarculus.com. If you don't have cold storage or you want another spot to help, diversify how you have all your assets stored, make sure you are protecting yourself. And cold storage is absolutely key. Where the hell here it is right here. So this is the email that I got the other day. I got this email. It says content issue on Kellam. And look, got the X logo, X monetization. I'm like, well, okay. We received a complaint about the content you posted on your page. And I'm like, I was about to click what? And I was like, hold on a second. And great lesson for all of you. And this isn't just crypto. You guys, they send out stuff for UPS and your package delivery and your old car insurance. You always come up here and you click on the name and see who the @ is from. And this one was from info@xfacility.com. This is not X. They do that. So I was like, so I just wanted to make sure you guys all realize that you're not just clicking on this stuff because they do these things that capture people in a particular fear. Or somebody could call you from Coinbase and say, hey, we just want to let you know somebody's selling all your stuff. They're trying to convert it. You need to log in and do this. You do that, then they completely rob you blind because it's not Coinbase. Coinbase doesn't call you. If you ever have a question, whether it's X, whether it's Coinbase, whether it's whatever exchange, whether it's call that company directly yourself. Get off that call. If it's an email, look at who the sender is from. It might say, in this case, it says X monetization. That's not seeing who it's from. Click on that. Then it will bring up the deeper information to show you that this is not correct. So just protect yourself, guys. But I love you guys. I gotta let you go. I gotta go walk this dog, and I got some special things coming. Blockchain Basement's got some special things coming. Discover Crypto. We're doing some cool new integrations. Some content's gonna change a little bit here on this channel, probably in the near future. But I'll still be live, still be doing stuff. But we got some really cool things coming, and some big changes, some nice growth. I'm so grateful. I do want to just shout out, if any of you did or did not see, today is my 22nd anniversary. 22nd anniversary from an accident I had when I was in the military. This was me, July 14th, 2003. That's me right there. I mean, I am RoboCop, broke 22 bones. I've had over 70 something plus surgeries from my hips, my pelvis, my ribs, my legs, my arms. I've broken it all. And I'm still up walking around doing things, living life. I'm grateful as I can be. I'm grateful for you. I really do appreciate and love each and every one of you. And I'm happy that I can be here with you on a daily basis. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. We got $160,000 Bitcoin is coming. $160,000 Bitcoin is on the horizon. Yes, it is, because we've seen the structures that have broken out, the bullish divergence here, the money flow coming in. Boom, pushes up to the zone, mega pump gateway, which we highlighted for months. We had the consolidation just under it, and then absolute rippage to the upside. I do think that the next targets up are going to be well up here into the 160s, 164, well beyond $200,000 and above. We've got a lot of targets up here. Another chart that I've shared with you all. It's pinned on the top of my X account. But this 158,000 is just a 2.618 fib extension. We've already captured, look, the 1.618. It's funny how this is where the price action had some trouble. Look, rejection by the 1.618 and then supported by it. Now the next target up here is not only the likely target, but I think it's going to be the predecessor for these next targets higher. So make sure you're stacking. I was trying to get through all that without coughing. But 158, 160,000 and beyond. Guys, this market's getting so exciting. Hope you all been stacking. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, ding the bell. Big love to you. Shout out if you're watching on X. Shout out if you're watching on Rumble. Shout out if you're watching on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the Discord. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. That's all I got. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in.